Ah, great, another fucking generic intro. I just wanted to make a really quick video to show you the best kind of classes you should run with in the Culling. To be honest with you, I'm kind of biased, because I don't usually use blunt objects or axes really, or spears. I mean, if you're a spear kind of guy, that's cool, but I want to show you the best kind of solo setup. I'm going to be showing you solo and team. Now, what you want to focus with if you're a knife kind of guy like I am, I would definitely get the Bloodbath perk, which with sharp objects like blades will usually help out. So we're going to select that right there. And also, if you want run with knives, it's alright. I mean, you get 10 movement speed out of holding any knife with you. But I usually pick Bloodbath, because if you're a knife guy like me, you get 100% duration with bleed wounds with all blades, which is very good. Stealthy is also very important to have, because movement and crafting are nearly silent. It's basically just 100% silent. Nobody will really hear you on the map. And if they don't have man trackers, which you find the nearest male opponent, they won't be able to find you unless they have a man tracker. So that's always good to have. And also tendon cutter. You get a 20% chance to apply cripple wounds. That's going to be a huge game changer when it comes down to it. Usually because if you can hit them in the leg, or hit them anywhere, it cripples them, like obviously. It just usually helps you get that advantage on your opponents when you're playing solo with knives. So the best kind of airdrop you should get when you're a knifer in solo is generally going to be Stalker, and it's also 70 funk, so that's pretty damn good. And moving on to team setups, I'm not going to really show any gameplay with teams, but you really want to get a sense of what you're best at. Like if you're better with knives, and better with just melee weapons in general, you should still run with Stalker if you are a knife player on your team. But if you want to be like a bow and arrow kind of guy, I would get the perks. Instead of having tendon cutter, I would usually get bow flexor, and I would also get stunner, because those are the best kind of things to use when you're on a team. Also, I would consider, if the other player doesn't have man tracker, to get big boned, because you have 15 more health on you, which is also very good if he's the knifer. Not really if he's the bow and arrow kind of guy, but it's generally whatever. Also, you should definitely get man tracker, and only one guy needs man tracker, honestly, because you're going to be the guy that says, hey, this dude's over here, hey, this dude's right here, and that's going to help out your team the most, generally, because if you're going to run into an area and there's enemies there, it's not going to be a fun time, really, at all. And something you really want to take advantage of in solo runs, and generally if you're on the team being the knifer, don't really worry about it if you're the bow and arrow kind of guy. I would more so try to find a bow and arrow than make one, generally because the ones you find are better. All you have to do is rub two rocks together, which I really love that they do in this game. You literally just pound two rocks together and you end up making a crafted knife. It is generally pretty damn good if you don't have a knife, or if you can't find a blade, because you spawn in and you don't have any weapons on you. And like I said, with bows, you can make a bow with a spear, and I believe it's a spear and a stick. But I like I said, I wouldn't worry about it. I'd just try to find a bow in an area like this. I would say the best bow that you could possibly find would be the compound bow, generally just because it has better velocity. But if you find like a recurve bow or anything like that, don't be hesitant to pick it up, because as the bow and arrowist, you need a fucking bow and arrow. And if you're going to be longer range, it would defeat the purpose of even trying to find a closer range weapon. But usually when you're soloing, that's when you're going to want to have both, like I am right here. I'm soloing with both a bow and an arrow. And I might sound just a little bit rushed when it comes down to it in this walkthrough, but I'm just trying to explain it the best way I can. I'm going to try to slow it down a little bit. Alright, deep breaths. Okay, so when you're soloing, it does not matter if you have a bow or a knife. if you want to be the bow and arrowist in solo, go right a fucking head. But if you want to win more, I would definitely just carry both. Just because just bow and arrowing on solo is kind of retarded. Generally because it's like, oh yeah, you're going to be open to all these people who are close range. And generally people who play the Culling are close range players in solo. So now that we're just running around a little bit, I want to kind of explain to you the crafting system. When you start off soloing, you're really going to want to start off with armor. You don't really need to start off with the body armor perk. That's just a waste of a perk slot. You can make armor generally just by getting a satchel. How to make a satchel is you need a band-aid with a stick. And you can get sticks by breaking trees. Like, you can't really break trees. It's generally just punching trees. You just punch trees until sticks come down. So you get 2 sticks to create a band-aid. You get another stick, put that with the band-aid, and you will be able to create a satchel. Now with that satchel, you're going to want to combine it with a rock, and then you just hold down left click. It's that easy. And you will have it. It's kind of shitty armor, but it's to help out with solo runs, because you're going to start off with no armor at all. So that's going to help out a lot. And also, nothing for nothing, I just want to brush up on this topic real quick of being in the middle of the map. I would only come to the middle sometimes, just because it's not really reliable to get gear. You can find really good shit if you open up the one that doesn't explode. But there's 3 of them, like 3 crates that spawn in sometimes, and usually 2 of them explode. So I wouldn't necessarily worry about getting the gear in the middle. I'd more so worry about getting gear outside of the middle in different areas. That will actually benefit you instead of you dying, because everyone wants to go to the middle. But also with fighting outside of the middle, like around anywhere, basically, you're going to want to know how to defend yourself the best way possible. And in this case, using the stone knife. So as you can see, our bloodbath perk is working out very well on this guy that we're fighting, because it gives them 100% more time to bleed out, which is going to help you out a lot. So generally, if they're going to melee fight you, what you're going to want to do is hold down right click, which will put you in a guard stance, which will generally help block those attacks. And if they block you when you try to charge them with your melee weapon, if they're still in their block stance, click Q, because you end up shoving them, which will help you out a lot, considering that that will also make them flinch. And very, 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 very important, you're going to want to always have funk, because you're always going to want to have to go to those health stations, which you can locate at any building, because generally every building has them, and you're going to want to use those best to your advantage when you are low on health after fights. Now sadly I end up dying at this part, spoiler alert, but I just wanted to do a quick review towards the end of the video. What you're going to want to figure out is what you're best at in soloing, and in this case I basically tried to show you the knife setup, which is a very good solo setup that you're going to want to use. Also, you're going to want to figure out what you're best at during teams, which, if you're better at being a bow and arrowist, you use those 2 perks I showed you at the start of the video. And if you like being the knifer, the one that's closer up, try to figure out the perks that you like the most. And I just showed you suggestions on what kind of perks are the best. But anyways, I'm going to stop wasting your time, because you probably want to play the Culling, and I kind of want to as well. So thank you for watching this quick tutorial on how to go pro with a team and solo setup guide. If you have any questions, write them down in the comments or at me at MigueL, and I'll see you later.